Who doesn't love a disastrous team rebrand? Some of my personal favourites include Chicago Fire's 2019 rebrand that was swiftly changed in 2021 with a crest that had the input of 20,000 fans. Everton's 2013 crest lasted just one season after online petitions, and a new crest was also selected by the fans. And there's the crest for Leeds United. After unveiling a new logo in January 2018, it was abandoned in just 1 week. Despite 10,000 fans being consulted in the design process, 80,000 signed a petition calling for the new crest to be shelved. So the message for a team rebrand is pretty clear: don't piss off the fans. If there's one example of a team rebrand that got absolutely everything wrong, that crystallised the failure of the team's management alongside their abysmal performances, it's the 1995 rebrand for the New York Islanders. This was a famous rebrand and logo made with zero fan input, hoping to latch onto a trend in the NHL, instead of investing in new players or coach to avoid finishing bottom of the table yet again. It was a rebrand so disastrous it didn't last 2 seasons, and there's even a book about the whole saga. Back in the mid-90s, the New York Islanders' best years were behind them. 1 decade on from winning the Stanley Cup 4 times in a row, things weren't looking so golden by 1995. Playing in the dilapidated Nassau Coliseum that was in desperate need of refurbishment, with a team in desperate need of new players to turn around its poor performances. As in the 1994 season, they had finished dead last in the Atlantic Division and second to last in the Eastern Conference. But the financials of the team meant they could not afford new players or a new stadium, so a rebrand was put forward with the aim to refresh the brand and jerseys to increase revenue through merchandise sales. At the time, the Islanders were ranked 24 out of 26 in merchandise sales, meaning the team was making little to no revenue from selling their jerseys. 2 years before this, in 1993, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, yes, that Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, has successfully been launched by Disney. In their first season, they achieved a respectable 33 wins, 46 losses and 5 draws, but more importantly, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim jerseys shot straight to #1 in sales for the season. And for the 41 home games they played, they sold out 27 of those games with an average attendance of nearly 99%. Before this, in 1988, the Los Angeles Kings refreshed their team colours from yellow and purple to silver and black. Alongside acquiring Wayne Gretzky, they went from last all the way to first in merch sales for the season. The Islanders could not afford Wayne Gretzky, but rebranding the team was something they were keen to emulate, as a rebrand, when done well, can help turn around a team's perception and fortunes. New York-based agency Sean Michael Edwards Design was hired to undertake the new redesign, with inspiration coming from Billy Joel. In 1990, Joel had released the Downeaster Alexa, a song about a fisherman of the once prosperous Long Island who was seeing a decline in their catch and struggling to make ends meet, which sounds like a pretty apt metaphor for the New York Islanders. The owners wanted to incorporate Long Island's seafaring heritage into the team's brand, which led to the creation of the new logo, which depicted an angry sunburnt fisherman wielding a hockey stick in front of a goal. This new logo was very hastily rushed out the door, and if the team had undertaken any market research, maybe someone could have pointed out the resemblance to the mascot for frozen food brand Gorton's of Gloucester. This led to the now infamous "We Want Fish Sticks" being chanted by the fans of their most hated rivals, the New York Rangers, as well as being the name of the book that documented this rebrand. As you could probably tell, the new logo was hated by fans as well as the players. The new jerseys dropped anything fans would recognise from the previous design in favour of dark blue, orange and teal. I can understand the idea of incorporating Long Island's seafaring heritage into the jerseys, but the fishermen, the waves, the lighthouse patches on the sleeves all feels like overkill. The cartoony logo also feels like it had taken inspiration from the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, in an attempt to be more quirky and different. The fans let their opinions of the new brand known pretty loud and clear, and unfortunately they took this out on the team's new mascot Niles. A fisherman costume with an oversized head, red light on the helmet, and a creepy smile. The poor bloke who had to wear this for $75 a game was booed at his first appearance and even punched and kicked in the balls by a young fan. The new brand intended to signal the dawn of a new era, but aside from a new logo and new team colours, nothing about the Islanders was new or different. The stadium was still falling apart, and the results of the following 2 seasons were just as bleak as before. The team's owners quickly wanted to drop the Fisherman and revert to the old logo before the season even ended, but the NHL wouldn't allow this so soon, as they feared retailers would be stuck with so much stock of the Fisherman jerseys that they wouldn't be able to shift. The one silver lining here is that the sales of the jerseys went from 24th all the way up to 17th. This should be viewed as a minor victory, but this wasn't enough given the negative reception and poor team results. And compared to the LA Kings, who jumped to first in team sales after their 1988 rebrand, this ultimately was a failure. In the 96-97 season, the NHL allowed the old logo to be used for 15 home games, and by the following season, the new team colours were kept, but the previous logo would return, and the Fisherman logo was well and truly dead. but not entirely. Despite the negative reception this received back in 1995, today there is some appreciation shown towards this logo and the jerseys. During the 2020 pandemic, Adidas created a series called Reverse Retro, with each team in the NHL getting a one-of-a-kind jersey inspired by a retro design. The Islanders jersey did not bring back the Fisherman logo, and instead the jersey was largely the same, but with a different shade of blue, which ironically was negatively received. In response, this was followed by a collaboration with Herschel Supply Co., with the new line including caps, beanies and backpacks featuring the Fisherman logo, with these designs being inspired by the 95 jerseys. At this point, some were even calling this logo iconic. It wasn't until 2022 that the Fisherman logo would be revived, with a number of modifications being made to simplify the design. The jersey reduced the amount of teal and the wave patterns had been toned down. The new version of the logo also reduced the teal and changed the Fisherman to have some more subtle orange highlights, a design that was fairly warmly received. It would seem enough time has passed since 1995 that you can look back on this and laugh. After going through a management scandal, where a con artist named John Spano attempted to buy the team, new owners were found in the year 2000. And that same year, the Islanders finally returned to the playoffs after a 7-year absence. The Islanders are in a much better place now compared to the 1990s, and younger fans look upon this logo more favourably compared to the fans that remember those days. Even the original 1995 jersey is available for purchase after being brought back in 2022. Hell, even the mascot Niles made a return that same year. It's fair to say this whole debacle is viewed as one of the biggest blunders in the history of sports marketing, and the logo was one of the most hated for a sports team, but that doesn't mean it's the worst. The execution of the design was fairly solid, and this type of badge design is fairly commonplace nowadays. The logo and rebrand was launched at the worst possible time for the Islanders. It became a symbol of everything wrong with the team, and caused fans to lose what little faith they had in the abysmal management. Because of how poorly the team was doing, the logo never stood a chance. The original Islanders logo may not have been a great design, but the success of the team in the 1980s helped to make the logo iconic. Fortunes for this logo have turned around so much, that some fans were even looking forward to seeing this logo on Islanders jerseys for the 2023 season. Unfortunately, this didn't happen, but maybe the Fisherman will be setting sail once again soon.